What's up, guys? Welcome back to the automotive channel, and today we're gonna be making another video on the old boat. A bug flew in my face. But yeah, we're gonna be doing another video on the boat, and this is gonna be like a repair video on the boat, and this might actually be the very last video I'm gonna make on the boat, is because I'm gonna be selling this boat real soon. But first up, I'm out of breath. I gotta fix it. So this is what happened, guys. So long story short, when I was taking this boat on the water on Father's Day, this was like a few videos after I uploaded that video of me taking it out on the water, you know, for the first time in like a year. And on Father's Day, like, this is like the 5th or 6th time that I was starting up and running and driving the boat, which it ran good until this happened. So it turns out that this boat has blew a head gasket. This is a 3.0 3-liter Mercruiser 4-cylinder. Mercruiser. So yeah, 3.0 Mercruiser 4-cylinder. It's a reliable motor, but it blew a head gasket on me, probably because it wasn't winterized properly. But yeah, guys, but today though, I got all the tools and supplies to fix it. So yeah, today I'm going to be replacing the head gasket and a few other seals and expecting some other things on this head and this top end of this motor, and see if we can get it running to its full glory again. So yeah, let's get to it. But yeah, before we can actually, you know, get started on this boat, I gotta drain the oil. So right down here, I got an oil pan ready to catch all the oil. And I also, as soon as all the oil is on this pan, I'm gonna take one of those pumps and then pump it into this container that's full of used oil. And we're gonna put some fresh oil in it. But before that, we're obviously gonna, you know, replace everything that needs to be replaced. And yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this oil drained. So yeah, the oil plug fits right on the 3/8 drive. Well, yeah, the oil plug fits right on a 3/8 drive, I think. I gotta go lower to check, and actually I think it fits like a 1/4-inch drive. Oh no, it's a bolt. Stupid, silly me. Shoot. Can't zoom in or out in this mode. This is a friggin' janky camera setup. So yeah, what seems to fit best is a 9/16 socket. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this oil plug loose. Oh, I was tightening it for a sec. Anyway. Yep, get all this milky crap out of this oil pan. Oh, geez, my hands are about to get covered in a second. Okay, got that knocked loose, but except it's not loose. So yeah, the oil is now being drained, and check out how milky that is. That is one thing that you never want to see when you're draining your boat oil. That means water has gotten to the oil and a seal went bad. So yeah. So yeah, while that's draining, I want to, you know, discuss a few more things. I'm also going to inspect the block for any cracks, because that also could be a potential reason why it was, you know, water was getting to the oil and stuff. And if I look right here, there is a crack in the block, but it's like a small crack. But luckily, right here, I got the good old reliable stuff. Bam, JB Weld. This stuff never fails me. So yeah, while that's draining, I'm going to clean up, you know, the engine bay a little. Let's go ahead and get this oil filter off. Got my oil filter wrench, and let's knock her loose. Boom, gotcha. Oh, geez, this is gonna spill a little bit. Aw, it's alright. When I get that pump, I'll pump her all out. So yeah, as you can see, there's water in the oil filter, so that is not a good thing at all. But, you know, that's okay. We're gonna fix that problem. So yeah, with the oil drain, I'm gonna go ahead and go to AutoZone and grab a few more parts, which is to pump, a new oil filter, and also some new spark plugs, because if you look right here, I took one of the boots off, and you can see how corroded one of those spark plugs look. So yeah, with all that said, I'll be back. Ooh, that is a rusty boy. Got the parts right here. Rather nice day out. Let's get a good spot here. Alrighty, got the parts right down there. Now I gotta sit here and pump just about half of this crap out before I can keep draining, because it's, as you can see, it overflowed a bit. Dang. Alright guys, it is the next day, and I spent all of yesterday draining the oil because I actually did not figure I did not know how to, and I had to figure it out myself. So I made quite a bit of a mess, but it's alright. There's still a little bit I need to clean up right there because, you know, the drain plug is still out and I gotta find it, but it's okay, not that big of a deal. I'm pretty much really good at cleaning up messes, so I know what I'm doing. So now with all that said, I'm going to be, now since we, you know, all the oil's out of there, now we're going to be disassembling the top end of the engine. And usually to, you know, make the process a lot faster, I would use an impact gun. But to prevent myself from warping anything, I'm just going to use a big old breaker bar to, you know, loosen all the nuts and bolts and all that crap so, you know, I don't warp anything. So, yeah. First off, we got to take off the intake and exhaust manifold and some other things that may be connected, like the you know, the distributor, and I think that's the fuel pump. Yeah, because, you know, it's hooked to the carburetor and stuff. So yeah, I already took the carburetor shroud off. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that on the way. Alright boys, next update on the boat. So I made some more video clips of it, but sadly the files got corrupted. So this is my next update I was going to show y'all. So I recorded myself taking off the valve cover, and as you can see, all this milky crap is still on it. But luckily, after the valve cover is off, you know, the head is off, I'm going to be cleaning it and then replacing the gasket and putting it back on. But yeah, I only took off the valve cover, you know, just to inspect the head bolts to see if they're good, and they actually seem to be in pretty decent shape, even though there's a lot of grime on them, but they seem pretty solid still. Like, there's no chunks missing, they're not bent or rusted to absolute hell. But yeah, so yeah, I also managed to knock one of them loose because I actually ended up breaking my breaker bar trying to loosen one of these. And also, it was a massive facepalm because I actually ended up, you know, turning them the wrong way. Like, I was tightening them instead of loosening them, so that was kind of a bust. So yeah, I just used as an alternative, I just used a 1/2-inch drive ratchet and this pole that I got off of my car jack to extend this thing to a massive breaker bar, and it actually loosened it. So yeah, I'm in the process of like loosening all the head bolts and stuff. There is a certain interval to loosening the head bolts and also tightening them, which is like, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something around there. I need to look at that again. But yeah. So yeah, head bolts, they're coming into play, but first I gotta take off this manifold in order for me to successfully remove the head, and also the push rod cover's down there as well, so I gotta take off a few more things to replace that gasket and also replace the bolt seals and stuff. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take off the manifold right here so I can show y'all what's going on there. Alright guys, after what seemed like forever, I have finally got the manifold loose because the reason why this took me so long is just a lot of figuring out. You see, I had to take off a lot of things, like the throttle bracket. I had to take off the 4 main bolts. I didn't think that were not the only ones holding this thing on. There was also nuts being held on to the studs that are supporting it right now. This exhaust system was blocking it from coming out, and also this alternator was in the way, so I got to loosen it. And also I tilted this backwards, you know, well, not backwards, to the side, so it could have proper clearance to come off. But yeah, and also guys, I honestly thought the timing was screwed up on this, but come to find out that this pulley is not the camshaft pulley, it's actually the water pump. Listen as I turn this over. Yeah, it pumps water through the engine by, you know, pressure, and yeah, that's what I think it does. And also, I took off the serpentine belt in case I had to do any minor adjustments. So yeah, with all that said, with everything disconnected and everything that came off, this is now finally ready to be lifted off. So let's go ahead and do that. And my workspace is an absolute mess because the disassembly is really the hardest part of this entire process. But the rest of the stuff, it should be no problem. It's just the disassembly because you don't know what parts are going to be frozen because this thing hasn't been tinkered with in years. So let's go ahead and slide her off and see if she'll come out. Alright, I gotta be real careful with this gasket because I don't have a replacement. Alright. Gonna stand up because this is all cast iron, so it might be extremely heavy. So come on, you bastard. Got one side of it off, now the other. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh yeah, these studs are, there we go, got it. Okay, that is actually very heavy. Yep. So now this is what we're working with. Let's go ahead and take this gasket off, and I can see some water that is in there, which is not good. If I shake this around a little bit, that might be some gas that's still in the carburetor, or either that or there's some water in the manifold. But yeah, now since we're done with that, now the head is finally ready to be taken off. So yeah, before we do that, there might be a few extra steps before we could actually start taking the head off. And that's probably unmounting this water pump, but there's a few things that I probably don't have to unmount, like that cable right there that goes from, you know, that handle to the throttle on the carburetor. So what I have to do is I also got to unmount the distributor so I could take off the push rod cover and replace the gasket in that. So let's go ahead and get that underway. All right, distributor's unmounted. It was just, you know, one bolt, and also you had to unscrew it, as you can see from the base. And also, check this out. I found this little melted and ripped up label. It's like a Mercruiser label. It's actually the serial number, which I should probably keep. And you can see it's a Mercruiser made in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, which is pretty neat. So yeah, now since I got pretty much everything out of the way and unmounted, now comes loosening up the head, which there's a certain order that you need to, you know, loosen and also tighten the head to prevent it from warping. So this is what you need to do. So to tighten it, you start at this first bolt, and then this is your second, and then your third, and then your fourth when it comes to tightening, and then you go to this back bolt, which is your 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But since we're loosening it, we're gonna do it backwards. So that's gonna be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm pretty sure that's how the order works. So yeah, let's go ahead, and I'm gonna, you know, loosen it with a breaker bar. I'm gonna knock each one of them loose with the breaker bar and then loosen them rest of the way with the impact gun. Now I know what you're thinking, that seems like a bad idea, but I'm gonna loosen them to the point where you can turn them by hand, and then I'm gonna, you know, use the impact gun to make it quick and easy to remove each bolt. So yeah, let's get that underway. That was actually not too bad, other than the fact that I had to use this extremely long breaker bar to break them loose because they were on there. So managed to successfully remove all the bolts, and checking how the bolts are, they seem to be in pretty good shape. But other than all the sludge and crap, I'll clean those up. And even though people don't recommend to reuse the stock head bolts, the, you know, original head bolts, unless they're in terrible shape, but these don't look, you know, when they're in terrible shape, you should not reuse them. But these are actually not too bad. So yeah, since all the bolts are out, now let's go ahead and remove the head. All right, seems pretty loose to me. Now let's go ahead and pull her out. You know, oh, hold on. It's a little heavy. By that I mean it's very heavy. Okay. Ooh, that's a thick boy. Alrighty. Haha. All right, now let's check out what we got here.
All right, so right here is the head. As I expected around to check if there's any bent valves or anything, and we seem to be just fine when it comes to that. And you can see that the valves and springs are nice and clean, but I'm still gonna, you know, clean the head and everything. And the proper way to clean it is to use acetone and a rag, but I'm gonna be using this stuff right here. Wait, where is it at? Metal parts cleaner. And yeah, this stuff seems to do the job. This thing is really good at cleaning metal, so I'm gonna be using that, and also some engine degreaser if I find any buildup or anything. But right here is what we're looking at when it comes to the head. You can see all the slots that water fills up and cools down the engine and whatnot. But yeah, and I looked for a head gasket, and as hard as this to believe, I don't think there's a head gasket. Like, I literally took this head off expecting to see a blown head gasket, but there is literally no gasket. Like, there's literally nothing. I even tried picking around the cylinder walls here, and there's literally nothing, unless, you know, something is up. And also, as you can see with all the rust and whatnot, all that buildup, I got to clean that out as well. So yeah, I'm going to install the new gasket. And before that, I'm going to clean everything up. And I also got to get a few more new parts for this thing, like a new oil filter, because the one that I bought over here will not fit, so because I grabbed the wrong one. So yeah, this is what we're working with here. There's literally no head gasket. What happened? Like, no wonder oil was spraying out the crankcase and whatnot. Like, geez. Like, I'm picking around here. There's literally nothing. Like, you can see the ridges where a head gasket would sit, but there's literally none. No head gasket. And I looked on the head as well, and I think there's a gasket. Is there? Nope, there's no gasket either. Well, big discovery. I meant to replace a blown head gasket. Come to find out that there wasn't any gasket in the first place. I'm not sure if this is standard on these Mercruiser motors. From what I remember, it's not standard. So, but I got a head gasket anyway. We're going to put one in, and we'll go from there. I guess I'll see you guys when I continue this.
Alright, here's the continuation, y'all. So, now since, you know, the top end has been removed, I just want to show you around. I just removed the pushrod cover and just found this. You know, you could see, you know, the lifters and where the pushrods go in, and you could see that some of this milky monstrosity is still built up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this area, you know, replace the pushrod cover gasket and put some those new gasket washers for them bolts that go on here. And yeah, and do that. And then after that, I'm going to reinstall the distributor and also redo the timing that's on it, because readjust the timing, because, you know, I took it off and didn't realize that I may have to readjust the timing in a little bit. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that and see what's up. So let's get that underway, I guess. I don't really have a plan. I don't have this planned ahead, but I'll just go right here from here. So yeah. And also, if you look inside, you could see the water splashing around when I turn this over. You can hear it pretty well too. Yep. Oh, this is some nasty stuff. Just around the block. Alright, now let's seat this properly. Now, I know most of these things on this motor requires a certain torque spec to tighten, but I'm not sure about the pushrod cover. But I'm going to torque it down to something that's pretty reasonable, like 20 foot-pounds, because the bolts were already pretty loose when I took this off, so... Alright, they're all, you know, pretty tight on there. It's kind of hard doing that off camera, while holding the camera in one hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the distributor and, you know, go from there. Alright, I just adjusted the timer. I mean, you know, the timing by ear, which is pretty much like the easiest way to do it with the multimeter and whatnot. So now, I'm gonna put the cap back on, and the important part is the fact that, since this rotor is now pointing towards, you know, a certain wire, I gotta hook that up to cylinder number 1 right here. And also, another thing that I found interesting is the fact this thing looks like it has a new cap and rotor, like a newer cap and rotor. You can see this rotor right here looks brand new, and this cap may be dirty on the outside, but on the inside, there's absolutely no corrosion. So, this might be a new cap and rotor that I just forgot of. I don't know, you know, my stepdad and, some other people have worked on this boat a lot in the past, and this is pretty much my first go at it. I think out of everyone, I think I did the most work in one sitting on this boat. Like, did a top end rebuild while everything else was just electrical and basic maintenance. So, now since that's done, let's go ahead and... Oh, wait a second. I need to lock down that nut right there, or else I'm gonna lose my adjustment. So, I need that wrench. Yeah, this wrench to lock down that nut that's right there, so it doesn't turn anymore. So, let's do it. And just like that, we're back in business with the distributor. And now I think we're ready to put the head back on with the gasket. So yeah, also obviously I got to hook up this ground, but I was going to do that as soon as I'm starting to mount everything back on after I get the manifold and whatnot back on. So yeah, let's go ahead and put on this fresh new head gasket. Yeah, this is going to be pretty neat. Y'all watched a 15-minute video about just me taking this apart and babbling it on, and now we're finally to the main part of the video. Yeah, I need to improve on my content soon. And also, by the way, yes, this is made by the Felpro brand. They make some pretty good gaskets. So yeah, let's set her down right on top. There we go. All right, boom, boom. Nice. This looks really nice. Yeah, this looks pretty neat, don't you guys think? I mean, well, it ain't exactly the perfect fit, but it'll work. Or unless the metal rings are supposed to be shaped like that. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Before we put the head back on, let's clean her out. All right. Also, we might need to get those little ports. Oh, guys, wait a second. Found the old head gasket. Oof. Well, looks like I lied. I just did not find, I just didn't find it right away. It was stuck right on the head. So if I look around to the whole head gasket, it doesn't look too bad other than some crusties around. But honestly, I think we should still replace it because this engine did overheat a few times before. And this might be just like heavily weakened if I just bend it around and feel it around. And I think it's better to replace the head gasket anyway because just to do like a top end inspection, rebuild, see where all that water is rushing into the motor. So it turns out that I didn't have to replace... Oh, never mind. I found a fault. It turns out I didn't have to replace the head gasket, but I'm doing it anyway, just for, educational purposes. And I'm also selling this boat soon, so yeah. There's a bit of crusties in here. So yeah. Just a little bit down each hole should do the trick. Yep. Alright, well, it's time for y'all to watch me to struggle putting the head back on. Well, not struggle, but this thing is very heavy because it's entirely made out of cast iron, so... Okay. Ooh. Alright. Let it down easy. Let her down easy. Okay. Need to get this out of the way. Alrighty. Okay. Head's back on. Now let's put the head bolts back on. Alright, now comes, the rather important part. So, when you're tightening these bolts back down, you gotta go in a crisscrossing pattern, and it also requires a certain torque spec. So, the manufacturer calls for 90 foot-pounds, but you gotta start at 30 foot-pounds, and then add 20 foot-pounds, each time you tighten a bolt up until you get to 90. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get that underway. Yeah, but like I said before earlier in this video, the tightening order of these bolts is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's the order. Yeah. Alright, I just got done torquing this thing down to 90 foot-pounds in total, and now it is time to install the new plugs. Wait, what? Why do these have rust on them? Oh, that ain't good. Hold on, let me check the other ones. This one looks good. How many times is that damn cement truck is gonna pass my house today? This is like the 20th time it passed our house. But yeah, these spark plugs may look bad and a little rusty. These may be a little rusty, but these definitely looked way better than the ones that were originally in there. Like, those were absolute, like, rust buckets. So, yeah, I thought it's still a good idea to put the new plugs in. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, all the new plugs are in, looking mighty fresh. And now, to put in the wires, from what I looked at the distributor and also some images, the spark plug wire order is this one goes first because, the rotor is pointing at it to, send the spark to cylinder 1. And then this one is for cylinder 2. And also, by the way, guys, I also looked on the inside of the spark plug wires, and they seem to be you know, in fairly good shape on the inside. So yeah, let's get this one installed. And then this one goes next. And last but not least, the last one. So yeah, this is the order that the spark plugs go in because the firing order of this motor is 1-4-3-2, and the rotor spins clockwise inside the distributor. So yeah, this should be the correct firing order of the plugs and wires. So yeah. And the last major thing to do is to put that heavy piece of crap back on, also known as the intake / exhaust manifold. And also while I'm at it, I may also clean out the carburetor as well, and we shall be good to go soon. We're almost done putting this back together, and hopefully sooner enough, or tomorrow, I'll get this, you know, fired right up. But, you know, obviously after I put that back on, I also gotta lash the valves, so yeah, so there's no more clatter. Alright, let's get it. So yeah, let's go ahead and pick this very heavy piece of cast iron up and put it back where it belongs. So, yep. Alright. So yeah. Goes in that hole, goes in this hole, slides right on the studs. Boom. There we go. There we at it. And yeah, now since we're here, we can put the 4 main bolts back on this thing, which are all right here. So yeah, for these bolts and that one nut, the manufacturer calls for 28 foot-pounds. So yeah, let's torque them down. Yeah, there was more than I thought when, you know, when it comes to mounting this thing. Yeah, it already clicked off camera. Alright, manifold's tightened down. It's kind of getting late, and looks like it's about to rain, so I gotta cover all this up and continue soon. Well, tomorrow. By that I mean tomorrow. Made some big progress today. Looking pretty neat so far. Almost done. And yep, with all that said, let's go ahead and, you know, put the rest of this boat together when the next clip comes. Alright boys, continuation of this project, because, you know, this is like the next day and whatnot. That's why I say like continuation and stuff. So yeah, I'm about ready to lash the valves. I'm making some big progress. As you can see, I already put all this stuff back here put together. And I also made sure that the distributor is timed, and I also put each wire in the correct cylinder, because I actually, when I put the spark plug wires back on, I actually, you know, put them in the wrong plug, in the wrong cylinder. But yeah, I redid some of that, and now it's time to do one of the very last important parts, and it's to lash the valves. Now, so what you do is you take a 16mm socket with your ratchet. You can use an extension if you have to, and then you need to, you know, tighten this nut while rocking this push rod back and forth. Here, I'll demonstrate real quick, because I think I already did this one. So you can rock the push rod back and forth, and hold on. The more you tighten it, the harder it's gonna, you know, rock back and forth. So this is a little hard with oily hands. So this is supposed to, you know, fix up your valve clatter if you have any. So yeah, this motor has tons of valve clatter, so I'm gonna, you know, tighten the old valves back and forth. So yeah, just tighten it a few times, and okay, so as soon as the push rod stops turning, that means you're at 0 lash. So yeah, as soon as you're at that point, turn it another 3/4. So yeah, and just like that, you have set your valve lash in your 3.0 Mercruiser. And now I got to do the same thing with the rest of the valves, and be right back. Alright, now there shouldn't be any more valve clatter. Well, each rocker is just about solid. Well, for some reason, except for these ones, which I'll fix in a moment. But now I just have to put this little bracket back on where all the throttle stuff is, which requires me to look at a picture to do so because it's a little janky. So yeah, this is another step that I would like to do before I do the final adjustments and finally put this engine back together. So yeah, let's go ahead and slap that on real quick. Alright, throttle brackets are back up, and I also put the serpentine belt and alternator back on. And now, all I have to do is just finish this up, put all the covers back on, do some final adjustments and all that, you know, jazz. But the thing is, though, there's a severe thunderstorm rolling in very soon, so, there's going to be a severe thunderstorm rolling in very soon. So I do not have much time to do this, nor do I have the time to, you know, start it up for you guys and see if it runs today, so sorry about that. But I'll do it tomorrow, so, yeah, let's go ahead and hurry up and put this back together. And I'll cover this all up and we'll call it a day. So yeah, let's go ahead and cue some time lapse. Alright guys, I didn't have much time to finish, but I only have to put the bolts and nuts and bolts down for everything, and I would be done, like connect that fuel line stuff. And the severe thunderstorm is rolling in way faster than I thought, so I gotta jump off and cover up the boat. You can hear that thunder in the background, so I'll see you guys tomorrow when I fire this thing up. Alright guys, final update. This is absolutely amazing. So check this out guys. The engine is finally now back together. Well, kinda. I didn't bolt this on because you'll see why in a minute. So yeah, the engine is finally back together in one piece. Well, kind of. So yeah, all I need to do now is to put some fresh oil in it, hook up the battery, and it will be ready to, you know, be fired up to, you know, for its first test run after, you know, replacing the gaskets and whatnot and sealing everything up. Hopefully I've done everything right, fingers crossed. So yeah, let's go ahead and add in the oil. But first, also, not only we're going to add in oil, I'm also going to add in this rather neat oil additive that does not mess around, and I'd recently discovered it, and I thought it would be perfect for this engine. So right here, I got some motor coat. Now, this is an oil additive that does not mess around. America's #1 friction fighter, and this really lives up to its name. This stuff is so, like, you know, slick that if you directly, you know, put a piece of metal on some sandpaper for 30 seconds, it would barely affect it if you coated it in this stuff. And really, the only way to clean it is to sand it, actually. Because, as you can see right here, on the bottom, it says, or on the side, it says, water does not wash this product away, which is, you know, absolutely awesome. It will basically waterproof the internals of this engine, so next time water gets into it, it will not, like, instantly blow up or something. This stuff will prevent it from blowing up. So yeah, let's go ahead and add in some oil, and I'm also going to map this out and see how much, you know, this motor coat that I need to add in certain, you know, quantities of oil. There's a dude with a square body mud truck that is so loud. He lives 2 houses down from me. But anyways, while all that is happening, maybe he'll just blow in a train horn, even though train horns barely even sound here. Speaking of one sounded earlier, before I get any more sidetracked, let's add the oil. Oh, wait a second. I forgot a very important step. Well, it's not that because, you know, I forgot to remove the foil. This takes some 25W40 marine oil, as you can see. But, and not only that, I completely forgot to install the new oil filter. So, yeah. Yep, do not forget your oil filter before, putting new oil in. So, let's go ahead, line her up, screw her on, you know, as snug as we can get it. Yep. And there goes the guy with the mud truck again. Alright, that's actually, you know, as tight as I could get it by hand. So, yeah. Oh, wait a second. Forgot another important step. Yeah, guys, don't blame me. I'm running on only 4 hours of sleep today, and also only enough caffeine to kill a friggin' elephant over here. So, give me a break. And it's to fill up the oil filter halfway with fresh oil so I don't run the engine dry on its first startup. So, alright, now since it's, you know, actually installed, now let's go ahead and get to adding some oil and the motor coat mix. Yeah. Alright, I got the muffs running through it. I just got done topping it off with oil and motor coat mix. The battery's hooked up. And now, the moment of truth. Will this run after, you know, I replace the head gasket for the very first time in my life and see if it was successful. Well, let's go ahead and find out. But first, let's go ahead and spray some starter fluid in there. So, yeah. All right, got a good enough amount of starting fluid. Now, moment of truth. Will she start up? Let's find out. Got a good battery voltage. Let's get it. May take some good amount of cranking power. All right, let me mess around with the throttle a little bit and see if that, you know, messes with it. Oh, all right, so I did the throttle and it actually, stalled a little. So that means, we got good compression, spark, and fuel delivery, which I think that's what it means. Come on. This may take a little bit of time, so. All right, decided to take the top of the air cleaner off, so yeah. All right, now let's see if she'll start up. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Fuel spraying out of there. Something's going on. So, judging from the ignition, that little ignition puff, that pretty much means we got some good sparks. So I was a little worried that I did not do the distributor timing correctly, but maybe I did. So let's go ahead and keep cranking, I guess. Yeah, I don't really see what's the hassle here. Huh. Yeah, I almost got it to fire up. Huh. Maybe the valve timing is off. Huh. Yeah, I tried cranking this for a while and no luck. It might be the valves, like I said, with my mini bike motor, I ran into this similar mistake where I didn't lash the valves correctly. So I'm gonna disconnect the battery and relash the valves the next day. So yeah. Whoa, 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 guys. So when I was turning this motor over, this is what I discovered. All of that milky oil started coming out when I was turning this motor over. Yeah, it turns out that there possibly is another leak right there where it's dripping. As you can see, there's possibly another crack in the block, which I did not scope out. And that's a shame. All that time and work just for another crack to form. So, yeah, to come into conclusion, the motor on this boat is absolute junk. Yeah, it turns over. It did run at one point, but now problems are starting to show. The previous owner, like I said, never winterized this properly, and just a slight confession, neither did we winterize this boat, mainly because we did not have the materials, nor do we have the time and money to do so. But I don't know why that became like a stupid decision of ours to just let this thing, absolutely suffer through the winter while the water expands inside of it, allowing to block the crack. So yeah, guys, there you have it, the replacement of the head gasket video, where the engine almost fired up. I mean, it's mostly sealed, but it's just the bottom end. It's absolutely trashed. So if anyone wants this boat, pick it up, please. This thing has been taking up a lot of space. So yeah, I'm basically done dealing with this boat. After over 10 years of boating around and, doing fun stuff in it, I think it's finally time for it to retire. Yeah, this motor, let's just say it's basically in hospice. No, just kidding, that's not funny. But yeah, like what they say, when the motor cracks, it's no laughing matter. In fact, it's honestly very sad. This thing has served us very well over the years, but now it finally decided to, you know, basically die on us. Even if I rebuilt the top end like you guys just seen. So yeah, this motor, it's absolute junk. So it turns over. It ran at one point, but now, as you can see from all that milky crap down there, it's basically useless, and it cannot continuing run like this, or else, you know, you would probably just blow it up or seize it up. I just want to get rid of this thing while, you know, it's still like this. I mean, yeah, it's a decent motor, but it's just never been taken care of, which is the saddest part. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to sell this next summer. Fall is around the corner, so I'm gonna wait until next summer to sell this boat. So we're gonna cover it up for the winter one last time, and in the spring we'll just sell it as like one big project. So hopefully someone takes it sometime. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely smash that like button, and if you type in the comments RIP 3.0 Mercruiser from our 83 Marquise 170. It's honestly a shame to see it go like this. Yeah, after all those new parts, all that time and repair, it's still, it's junk. It's a good parts motor though, I ain't gonna lie, it's a really good parts motor. So yeah, it basically has everything. The only thing bad about it is the block, and yeah, there you go. Package deal, 170, Marquise 170 whole with for a 3.0 Mercruiser parts motor. So yeah, after all that crap done to it, it still would not fire, and instead it would just do that. So yeah, this motor is junk. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, definitely smash that like button for the tutorial, the head gasket replacement and whatnot. You know, all that time and money went into it. I hope you guys will show me some appreciation. So yeah, for now, rest in peace to this motor. I'll see you guys next time after this really long and boring video that only led up to this very disappointing moment. Peace out.